The following episode is brought to you by Poison City Brewing, proud makers of Durban Poison Cannabis Lager, the beer that invites you to live your poison. My name is Nasiphi.
Nasiphi, away, bro.
Yeah.
My name is Christian. I'm the bloke you just spoke now. I'm his twin brother. We're sharing the same link.
Away, dude. Nice to
And
meet
the same
you.
jeans.
Hello, Yanni.
What's up, bro? What's it?
No,
All right, so is it just
What
going to
she
be
said.
the four of us tonight, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. No, I'm super stoked with that. I believe
Are you
we
recording the session? Are we going to be on record?
yeah,
Can
dude.
quote
We
me on
actually
this shit.
we're on record right now, bro, as we speak.
Oh, great.
You sound like a real lawyer.
Dude, are you a
No,
lawyer?
but you must know, bro. No, I'm not a lawyer.
No.
I was about to say, man. Cause I'm an interpreter by profession, like in court and shit, and so I work
Really?
with like lawyers every day. Yeah, I was about to.
Oh, wow.
But what do you interpret?
So I interpret languages, bro. Like if
No,
someone,
but I
if
mean,
it's Zulu and English.
fucking hell.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, so what do you call it if you're more than one language? It's not bilingual. Yeah, as je meer as een is, understood.
Yeah, but you guys are also bilingual, though. I mean, you've got the Afrikaans and the English as well, so we're pretty much in the same boat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're trying. So if the answers come out slowly, it's because we're busy interpreting in our heads.
Guys, you know, I was reading your guys' biography actually back when you guys sent through the email, bro, and it's like something out of a movie. You know that guy that reads that does all the trailers and shit. That's how I just imagine it going in my head, like the way it's written out. It's like something from a movie, bro. It's fucking dope, though.
Yeah, it's quite scripted. We were impressed ourselves because the bloke you've been chatting to, Andre, he actually writes the stuff. So when we
What?
read it the first time, we're like, fuck, this is pretty legit. I mean, it sounds like a script or a sales pitch. I don't know. Either way.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's actually very informative, you know. I mean, there's nothing that's left out. I feel like I know you guys already just from that bio, but I mean, for the sake of, you know, everyone who's listening to the podcast right now, since you're on record anyways, you guys obviously are Zen Garden, and you are from a small farming town in Pretoria. Now, for me, like when I think of you guys being a band, I don't necessarily associate any band activity with farm type with the farm type setting, you know. So how did that actually happen, bro? Are you guys actually from a physical, like actual farm, or is it just a farming area? And how did you guys get into music from there?
I think it's actually been like an ongoing joke. You know, we always talk about Pretoria just needs a sea or, you know, a beach, then it has everything you need. And me and my twin brother Rudolph, we come from a farm in Limpopo, but we are Pretoria based at the moment. We've been here at school and during university, and that's how we met Jan Hendrik and Ines as well. And we actually had a band weekend at the farm as well. So I think maybe, you know, in the unsubconscious level that came into play in the bio.
It makes a lot of sense, bro. You actually never hear much about Limpopo, eh? Like, is there like a scene going on up there in terms of music?
Yes, Bruno, definitely there is a scene, but it's either more on the rural side, like on the down low. There's not much events happening. You sort of have to know the people. And the thing is, it's either Sotho or Afrikaans. There's no English there. Like it's non-existent. If you speak to people, I don't care if you're purple, pink. I mean, nobody understands English there. It's either Sotho or Afrikaans. And there's a lot of stuff happening, like on both sides. But events wise, like shows on the downloads, either it's a kerk bazaar or it's a shabeen playing or it's like a download thing happening in one of the townships. Like, I mean, we don't know, man. We don't know.
I think in a
I
way,
think there's a jazz festival in Petersburg. Yeah, Polokwane. Yeah, I think there's a jazz festival each year. I think those festivals at Standard Bank, they do like a series of them. I think there's one in Polokwane.
And isn't Opi?
But
I
that's
think
that.
Opi happen in Limpopo as well.
No, it's Northwest, bro. That's not our valley.
Oh shit.
No,
That's
we don't. It's basically northwest. It's a bunch of rocks and fucking open
dude,
spaces.
dude.
That's it. And Opikopi. So
I was just thinking about that. Like the north, you never hear anything about that place ever. I don't know if it's just me, but like not even on the news, dude. So it makes sense when you say it's just literally rocks. It must just be like rocks and open land.
no, it looks like Mordor. To give you an idea, if you ever watched Lord of the Rings, if you watch Lord of the Rings, if you ever walk in Mordor, it's basically the same place. And there's Opikopi and Sunset. So there's your
Yo, now listen, guys. Talk me through the time when obviously both of you moved from Limpopo. You went into Pretoria. You started studying and whatnot. How did you meet the rest of the guys? You know, was it at varsity? Was it out at a gig somewhere? You know, how did this come about?
Ines.
We all went to race together, and we were all placed in the race called Sono. And then as you go through the years at the hostel, there were activities that we could have engaged in. And for instance, Christian, Rudolf, and Jan Hendrik, they were every year part of the band with Ink Melodink and all the types of stuff that where a band needed to play music, they were involved in. I was involved with Serenade from the start when I got into the hostel. And throughout the years we were there, we then met through Serenade. And I remember there was one Sunday where I was like, Ontlas has an open mic night. Christian, I knew he studied music. He did BMS at Tux. So I went to him and I was like, dude, I want to cover this song at, Ontlas. Can you play it for me on guitar? And he was like, yeah, fuck, dude, let's do it, whatever. We played and it went pretty well. After that, we knew Jan Hendrik played drums. We knew Rudolf was good at bass. So we were like, let's form a band. Let's see if this can go somewhere, because it could have turned out shit. So we were like, if it is shit, then we don't continue with it. But I mean, I think it just clicked from there and it gelled quite well. And that's how we started.
I think our
Yeah.
first gig, if you look at everything, talking about the farm village and everything, Tux had a battle of the bands, and Christian and Rudolf brought like a bottle of what was it, Mampur, called
Witlet.
Wonderwater. And we got so fucked on stage actually, but it went so good, and we actually won the battle of the bands, and that was our first gig actually. And after that, I think we just said, well, let's start a band. Let's do this,
I just want to say on record so we can set this thing straight. Tux still owns us, so they still owe us 10,000 rand for winning that battle of the bands. We haven't seen it since, so they can go fuck themselves.
Oh damn!
Yeah.
What? This is incredible. I didn't even know it took even hosted Battle of the Bands. Like, what year was this?
2017, I think.
2016. Yeah, 2017. I'm thinking about Arambe. Sorry.
What the fuck? So did you guys like make like a follow up of some sort when it comes to claiming this 10,000?
No, we tried actually, but at the end we all got a black label. That's what we got about everything. So yeah, that's a fucked up thing.
Damn, dude, that is hectic, dude. Like, wow.
I'll go on the record, and I'm gonna throw some shots here. So the guy that was in charge of like the, what do you call it, like not Stuku, but like the student board, that they are the guys that hold these events, and they do all the planning that go with it.
Yeah.
So the guy in charge that it was Lanshay van Tonde. And when we won it, I remember the MC going wild, and he's like, these guys just won 10,000 rand, and everyone in the crowd was like, fuck yeah, man, 10,000 rand. And afterwards, I was like, Lanshay, you guys put this on a poster. You can't not pay us now. And he was like, yeah, dude, it's like it's going really, really, like hard this year, and like the budget we had and everything, we don't have the money.
Shit.
But he was in fucking on class every weekend paying. When you work for the university, they have these cards that you use. It's like business cards, when people go for like business fucking meals and whatever, and then they spend like a shitload of cash. And he used these cards in on class and stuff. And I was like, oh, okay, fuck. Makes total sense that you can't pay us 10 grand, but you're busy getting fucked on the university's budget every weekend in on class, buying everyone drinks and stuff. So yeah.
Oh, that is hectic, dude. Especially because this happened like 4 years ago, 4 or 5, what, 2016, 2017.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
4 years.
yeah. I mean, not even like after a couple of years, not even a phone call and some, hey guys, we found you raise the cash, come collect or something. This is hectic. This is
No.
fucked up. But damn, like I feel like the fact that you guys, it was your first gig, and you guys were a bit sloshed as well, and you guys actually won the battle of the bands. Was that something that you guys sort of expected? I mean, what made it possible for you guys to sort of just gel so quickly?
I think from a starting point, we had a musical background to start with, and like we said, we met during musical activities as well. So I think we all had like the correct amount of individual confidence to, if I got to pick up the drumsticks, I'm going to play a groove, or if I have to sing, I'll sing it on notes, whatever. But I think in a sort of friendship way, we didn't know each other that well. So I think we were all just on that, that testosterone driven, I got to do my thing correct because I don't want to drop the other guys as well. And I think that just gelled, and we got a lot of confidence through that. That was like the stamp of approval for us in terms of, can you do something with it, or is it just something you do in the garage on Saturday afternoons and you irritate the whole neighborhood or whatever. But I think, yeah, we all knew what our job was, and we picked like cool covers as well. We didn't have any material of our own, and from that we started like writing our own songs and trying ideas, because it was like a testing phase for us. But I think it just was a weird way of things just falling together.
That's incredible, man. Like, and I just even look at the name, did that sort of come about right at the beginning when you guys had that sort of, victory at the Battle of the Bands, or did that sort of come after? Did you guys have to go through different names? Tell us more about that.
But that came after, dude. So with Battle of the Bands, I think our name was like Perde Patrollie or something. But I mean, obviously, long term, that wasn't going to fucking stick, or like be a good name. So we were like, yeah, all four of us was like in a room one night, and we were like busy, smoking some of the good stuff, getting philosophical and whatever. And it just we were thinking about names and whatever, and we were like Garden, Zen. I remember that year like that period when we thought of the name, everyone was like speaking about chi and like having good karma and whatever. So I think that's where the Zen part came from. Then we were like Garden. Oh my god, man, what a good idea. And then it just went from there.
Yes, this is wow. Like the way that you guys even got together, the fact that you guys, at your first gig, you guys won like a battle of the bands, and the name came together so well. It has a good background to it and all that. And then obviously you guys went on to then play like various venues up in Joburg and Pretoria, dudes. Like when you guys initially got together, did you guys sort of foresee that you guys were going to have the kind of impact that you've had and play the gigs that you've had? Because I mean, I see here there's Arcade Empire, there's Railways Cafe. These are all venues that a lot of the bands that have come to the show as well have been like, these are fucking dope venues. Is this something that you guys sort of foresaw and were like, you know what, guys, one day we're going to play Arcade Empire, one day we're going to play On Class and all that there?
I think the one thing that helped us along the way was that everyone wanted to play Park Acoustics. That was the big background for all of us, I think. Just saying, okay, we got to start here, we got to start somewhere, and then just build ourselves up. And hopefully we'll get the Park Acoustics, and finally we got the Park Acoustics last year.
And how was that experience for you, bro?
Dude, it was fucking cool.
Yeah.
Give you an idea, it's just magical to rock up to a place and you plug your bass or guitar or whatever in, and everything works. And when you play that note, it goes through until the parking lot. Like Yanni, he was late and he actually called us and said he can hear us from down below the hill or the mountain, whatever you want to call it, and says, yeah, ek hoor julle speel al. And we were like, yeah, bro, you have to come and plug in and play. It's going to be epic. And fortunate enough, we were one of the last acts before the second wave of Corona came through, and we actually had the chance, or well, the privilege to be able to play, because how things are going now, everything is standing still. So that was our biggest milestone so far.
Yeah, and how did you guys sort of, I mean, considering that it was sort of the end goal for you guys, it was a very like a milestone, as you said, going into Park Acoustics, like before it even came and all that there, what did you guys sort of do to prepare for that? Did you guys sort of practice differently than you would have if say maybe you were playing a gig at on class or something, or did something change, or was it all just the same routine?
I would say we were very setlist conscious in a way of you only have 50 minutes, 60 minutes to play. And the gigs we've done in the past was like you had a slot and you could stretch it or you can cut it. It doesn't really matter. But we were very sort of focused on if we have 50 minutes, we got to utilize the 15 minutes or the 50 minutes or whatever so that we play the songs that we want to play. Because a big aspect of our live versions of the songs is there's a lot of improvisation and moments where you can stretch a song with a minute or two because you had this one cool idea and everybody picked up on it instead of just like adding the songs on your your platforms, Spotify or whatever, and saying okay, it equals this amount of time. And that was really the first time where we sort of planned, okay, yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. But musically, yeah, I don't think musicality is a thing for us because it just sort of it works out. But yeah, we were very conscious about the time we had and how we're going to execute the songs and what order we're going to place the songs, that sort of journey you take the person that's listening, all of that sort of stuff. So we never actually thought about that too hard in the past, but we were like, we had this chance, we're going to do it. So I think, I don't want to speak for everybody, but I think that was the general goal.
I think the one thing that stood out for me, because usually we practice at Sonop at the res. After everyone left the res, we talked to each other and we said, okay, well, we need a place to practice. And as soon as we started practicing like in a studio, we started like experimenting on new things and playing new riffs. And I think we got more professional when we started playing at a studio, for like paying for the stuff and saying, okay, we got this amount of time, we got to do it in this amount of time, and we got to do it freaking good. So yeah.
And obviously with, as you say, bro, when you guys started paying for like studio time and all that there, it obviously means that the band is, it also became something that you guys started investing in terms of, finances and all that there. And how would you guys say your journey has been, sort of investing in what you guys believe in, besides playing the gigs, besides doing this for the passion and all that, financially, is this something that you guys would say being a part of this band is sort of feasible in a way, even for someone who's thinking of starting up their own band and stuff in South Africa, is having to pump in those kind of finances into it? Is it something that is feasible in the South African music scene at the moment?
Just to give you an idea what the thought process behind it was is, it's a bit cocky or ambitious to say, but when we started with the thing, we thought like, you got to remember, like it's one thing to start and play gigs and you get $2,000 for a show. You maybe get a bar tab, you maybe get food, etc. But if you keep in mind that we're 4 oaks that each has to get to place, we have to put down time, we have to bring our own pocket money to get some beer or the instruments, all of those things. So if you think about it, it's quite complicated because now you get $2,000 for a gig and you say, okay, cool, that's like the hard-earned money that we had. So let's split it 4 ways and each oak gets $500. But that $500 alone on your own is not going to really make it compensate for like the continuity aspect to it, because we thought like, let's get an account where we call it the kitty, and then each money that we got for the gig, we've sort of placed into the kitty with the thought process of not putting too much of your own cash into the sort of business aspect to it, because we want to be able, like, when you get the big paying gigs and you sort of be able to do a tour, like we decided we're going to sing in English to possibly do an overseas tour and all of that. When a big cash comes, we want to sort of manage it like a business. And we were very strict upon it. Like, if you drive to a venue that's in Alberton and we were in Pretoria, it's 60, 70 Ks to drive to there. So in the first place, we got to pay our petrol to get there. In the second place, say now Yanni needs new skins on his drums, we got to help him to pay for the new skins. Say now, with bass guitar strings, it's a very expensive thing. It's like 400, 500 Rand for a a legit pair of strings. So
Yeah.
we actually had the idea that even if it's so small, I mean, like $2,000 is not going to make you a rich man, but if we actually put it to use, like sort of build up a fund through which we can fund ourselves to be able to do this sort of thing. And each of us has a day job. I mean, we all do our thing to get by at the end of the month. We're not studying anymore. We're not living from our parents, or, you know, the classical, like if you're a musician, your parent pays. It's not like that. Like we have our day jobs, but the band sort of take care of itself, if that answers your question.
Yeah, it does 100%, man. That was actually well said there, Rudolph, bro. And one of the key aspects that I took from what you said as well, you said it quickly in passing there, bro. You were like, you guys decided to sing in English, you know, and you also mentioned, you know, wanting to play if you guys ever decide to play overseas and all that there, you know, besides, you know, reaching out to overseas audiences and all that there. What else sort of made you guys be like, okay, let's just do this in English? Considering that you guys are so fluent in Afrikaans, and you guys did say before we started as well that, you know, you guys have to translate that into English in your minds. So why sing in English, considering that Afrikaans is your guys', I'd say, their mother tongue?
That's a bit different though, because Afrikaans is a pretty difficult language to really express yourself when you make music and really say what you want to say without sounding corny. Because the language has evolved over so many years now as well, there's a lot more slang and stuff in that. So I wouldn't say my knowledge of Afrikaans is not deep enough to really express myself thoroughly in it. I don't know a lot of old words and, you know, that type of stuff. A lot of the songs that, for instance, I wrote, I just found it easier to express what I wanted to say in English. So even though English isn't my home language, and remember, we have an accent when we sing English, but it doesn't mean we struggle with the language. We just sound a bit weird because it's not our mother tongue or whatever. But English is I think, an easier language to express what you feel and not come across as corny as you would, for instance, sometimes in
Yeah,
Afrikaans. I'm not saying you
think
always sound corny, but
I think what
yeah, you can come
want
across
to say
sometimes.
is it's sort of, you got your pioneers in Afrikaans, you know, the guys from the Voelvry and Fransje van Coke and Fok of Polisiekar and Hewels, and you got those guys that they do it very well. But you either got to choose, am I going to sound like Larico, or am I going to sound like Fok of Polisiekar, or am I going to sound like Koenie de Villiers? Or you can just, it's sort of, if you sing in a different language, it's sort of like putting on a mask. Like they say, like the most honest person is someone who wears a mask, because then they can actually say something without, you know, giving too much away of themselves. And I think, first of all, you'd want to get your music out to everyone in the world. So how are you going to do that? Okay, it sounds cool, but you want them to understand as well. And English being so thoroughly, you know, it's a language that's used throughout the world. So yeah, basically it's you can either write a cool poem in Afrikaans and it sounds very cool, but if you want to see, it's sort of there's a sort of cringe factor in it as well, which we didn't experience that when we were writing in English.
No, that is very well
Look,
said.
dude,
Yeah. Sorry.
the people that do write in Afrikaans, there are people that are really fucking good at it. Like Anton Goosen, no one can shit on the guy. If you take Valiant Swart, or, you know, that type of caliber Afrikaans artist, it's a gift that they have to sing in their own language, and how they put that story across in the song. It's not something that everyone can do, and I don't think we'll say we'll never write a song in Afrikaans. If we are going to ever publish something in Afrikaans, it'll be a quality product, and we just haven't come across one yet. But that's the beauty of music. You never know when an idea is going to come to you. So
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense, you guys. Yeah, you know, just moving right along. I remember I recently had a conversation with I don't know if you guys are familiar with the band called Contras, but
Yes,
basically
I
they,
know the music, what you're
yeah,
based.
Yeah, so then we had a conversation with Contras, and they were basically, we started talking about, influences and stuff, and then MCAR came up, and the influence that had on, South Africa, or the entire sort of alternative music scene within South Africa. Did MCAR have an influence on you guys at all? Because I personally remember I obviously wasn't really into the alternative stuff when I was a kid, but I remember seeing MCAR and seeing all these bands, your Francois van Cokes, the people that you guys mentioned and all that. Is it something that played a role in your guys' childhood that you maybe took, and sort of incorporate into the band?
Definitely. I think which made the world open for me for across MCAR. There was a thing called Rock Spider. And that was actually where new bands, I think FL was the first band that actually won the Rock Spider. And I know my sister worked at MCAR as well, and that was still when MCAR was MCAR 89. And yeah, that was a great new world for me, seeing the new alternative music coming to life. Yeah, that's my point of view.
And the thing is, what you got to keep in mind is if you look at a show like, say now you check a live show at Glastonbury or Woodstock or whatever, it feels like a dream. It feels like it's out of your reach, because we're in South Africa. We're dealing with all the trouble that we have in this country. We're dealing with all of the lack of things. But MCAR sort of brought the idea that, it is possible, even though it was a bit more Afrikaans driven, it was a bit more up and coming, a bit more grunge, whatever you want to call it. It made the sort of thing clear that, if you really wanted to pursue it, there is a possibility to actually go and do it. At least you can feature on it. Yeah, and I mean, it opened up a world that we never thought was possible, because you look at big acts across the Shadow Club, for example. When we saw that, I was like, yes, bro, these guys, they sound like international act. I mean, we never thought like, wow, bro, like that gave us the idea, like, fuck, let's sing in English because it's more relevant, because you can, music is universal, but if you can understand the lyrics, it's so relevant, and you can actually like listen to a song, even though I come out of a certain background, Ines comes out of another background, Yanni, he came from his roots. I mean, you sitting there in a total different space where we're sitting. If we sing a song to you in English, it just makes so much more sense. And the MCAR sort of made our eyes open to like actually realize that, this is possible. We can chase it.
And this is it the same for you, bro?
Yes, dude. I think MCAR brought different cultures together again, because when it started, it wasn't like just this Afrikaans channel. You'd watch MCAR on TV, and when you'd go to a festival, especially the Afrikaans ones, like Aardklop or any Bos or whatever, and then you'd see a band like Fok of Polisiekar or Jan Blom and those type of guys, and those are liberal type of guys. They don't have a certain market. Like, a lot of people listen to their music from young to old, different races of people. And I think MCAR just it brought a unity to the music industry in a way. It definitely had an impact.
Yeah, I think that's some really dope perspective on that. They really did influence a lot of people, and it's a pity that they aren't going anymore. If you guys had a choice to be a band when MCAR was a thing, or be a band in 2021 when MCAR isn't a thing, which would you guys sort of pick?
I mean, 2021 has a bit of COVID added to the mix as well. So I think if we were to get nostalgic, I would definitely, at this very moment, choose to be in a period where you don't have social distance, or there's not you can't get a virus or anything. But I think in the past, would I be part of MCAR? Maybe, but we have to take in consideration we were still very young. I think when I was in my peak of my MCAR period, when I watched it, was like between grade 6 and 7. And if we take a look at 2021, there's other platforms, like a platform like Apollo TV, which are actually friends of us that started this platform to sort of replace YouTube in a sense, because if you are a no-name band that just started and you have this music video and your name is sort of attractive and a lot of other names has certain words to your name, then it's quite hard to get the specific video that you're searching. I mean, if you type in Zen Garden on YouTube, you'll get a bunch of meditational sort of plant nursery music, or let's meditate on this shit. But they wanted to start Apollo TV so that if you're still up and coming, the search is narrowed to your specific profile. And I think it's quite new at the moment, but in 2 years, 3 years time, it could just as well be the new MCAR of our sort of era, and just a platform that narrows the search and sort of serves as an EPK. Like, you can see my music video there. I have a live show recorded, or I have this acoustic set that I did, and you don't have to go through the admin on YouTube, or you don't have to sit in front of the TV to maybe see a glimpse of the band you wanted to see, like those MCAR playlists that they just randomly throw every afternoon.
Yeah.
But I think from my part, you got to embrace the period that you're in. So there's always new possibilities, but luckily for MCAR, that served as a platform to build new stuff as well.
Yo, that is very beautiful, dude. And I think a lot of people need to actually check out Apollo TV. Like, thank you for that, actually, bro, because I didn't know about it, but I feel like it's a platform, the way that you've explained it, it's a platform that's actually needed in the scene. A lot of people need to send their stuff through. I think what we can even do is we can paste the link in the biography of this actual episode and get people to actually tune in. So shout out to you for that one. So, let's play one of your singles. I'd say Smoky Eyes. Someone on the EPK. Super keen for people to hear that one. And yeah, if you're listening to this, we're gonna come back just now.
Waking up fucked up, I guess I gotta sleep on and I see you making our morning coffee. God, you know us, you always make it too. Oh baby, why you always making two? Waking up fucked up, I guess I gotta drink less and rather smoke a bit more, cause I'm drowning from my water bottle. It feels like it's raining in the desert. My head hurts, my fingers yellow, my thoughts are little wars lingering to you. And my head hurts, my fingers yellow, my thoughts are little wars lingering to you. But yeah, baby, it's midnight and everything is alright, and I know tomorrow this will disappear into it. But baby, please don't give me any, 'cause these smoky eyes can't disguise my love for you, my love for you. No, these smoky eyes can't disguise my love for you, my love for you. Waking up, seeing you on the other side of the pillow, and I'm thinking, where are the palm trees and the summer breeze? 'Cause this is my kind of paradise. Yeah, this is my kind of paradise. And my head hurts, my fingers yellow, my thoughts are mellow, always lingering to you. And my head hurts, my fingers yellow, my thoughts are mellow, always lingering to you. But yeah, baby, it's midnight and everything is alright, and I know tomorrow this will disappear into it. But baby, please don't give me any, 'cause these smoky eyes can't disguise my love for you, my love for you. No, these smoky eyes can't disguise my love for you, my love for you.
Yeah, so we were listening to Smoky Eyes by Zen Garden, and yeah, guys, it's a really sick song. Before I get onto asking you guys about the actual music now, there's this one aspect that I actually want to find out from you guys. You know, since you guys started back in the day, or like a few years back, as you guys said, 2017, 2018 or so, and obviously now looking at 2021, looking at the pandemic and stuff, and you guys being a band, you know, how has that sort of, you know, has the pandemic actually affected the way that you guys, you know, proceed with being a band and all that? Because I can tell you, you know, from a couple of the artists that have come through here, and from my experience as well with the podcast, it's sort of like we've had to sort of adapt now to more of an online thing, considering that you can't really meet up with people and all that. These are just some of the things that you need to sort of, you know, transition to in times like these. So would you guys say the pandemic has affected you guys as a band in any way? What have you guys had to change, if anything at all?
So everyone is working from home at the moment in
Mm.
the respective places they come from. So I'm back in Nelspruit at the moment. Rudolph is in Limpopo, Christian is in Pretoria, and Jan Hendrik is in Johannesburg. So obviously, we had to work. We had to get some form of income during this time, and we couldn't play either. So it had a bit of a negative impact, but at the same time, it was good to work. Like for instance, in the band, I'm the last guy that started working, so it was good to get that experience.
Mm.
But dude, COVID has been savage. I mean, the impact it has had like on restaurants and like places where music is made and whatever, it's much more broad, the impact it had on those industries, than just people losing their jobs. I mean, events getting cancelled and stuff, we can't make money, like we also have to survive and stuff like that. So it's been hard, man.
Mm. Have you guys sort of had like a similar experience under lockdown? I mean, obviously, you guys are in separate places, but is it the same for Rudolph, for example, bro? Has it been a similar thing to you as well, having to get a job and adjust and all that?
No, definitely it was. It was a huge impact because uh, it's such a cliche to tell now over the show, but the problem was we were sort of like riding a huge wave, and it was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And then all of a sudden, COVID came in, and everything like sort of just halted. And just through the past year that has passed, people ask you, I mean, our friends, our family, everybody asks you like, oh, what's happening with the band? And we're like, basically nothing, like we don't want to sound weird or anything, but nothing's going on. It doesn't mean that the band is in a worse place or in a better place, but just the whole scene is standing still. Fortunately, we were most of us were working prior to COVID. We had our day jobs and all of that stuff. But when COVID actually happened, like it's not for me like it affected us negatively. It just sort of delayed the whole process of actually like getting into stuff, because obviously you've heard with other artists on the show. I mean, if you got a festival, you still have that festival, but you can only play it when it's able to be a festival again. So the whole lineups, everything is just literally delayed until we are able to like go to Splash FM, go to Opikopi, go to Daisy's, wherever you want to go. They still promise those oaks, you got a spot you can play, and now it's just delayed. And a lot of people like went online, and we also did the online thing, but we didn't want to do the whole thing of like people actually having to buy a ticket. We like sort of grabbed the opportunity to get a proper like video of us playing our songs, because if you can go and Google any band that is big, and you can see a video of them standing in the studio and playing their tunes live. And we sort of grabbed that opportunity and did the whole setup, but we didn't charge a fee for it. At least we had some bit of cash left in the band's account, and a huge donation. Like one of the fans just like literally coughed up a lot of cash, which helped a lot. And then, yeah, but to answer your question, it sort of just delayed the whole process. I mean, it's standing still. It's not, you can only do so much now.
I think the thing is, we're across over the years we become such good friends actually. So there's no, and I think the love for this music, we all want to play the music, and we want to stick together as a band. So I don't think that's ever going to be a problem. So yeah, I think going out through financially, yeah, it's a standstill, but we're not going to stop being a band.
But I think we should also have a clear view of everything that happened. Before COVID, you were very much driven to play gigs and get big shows, nice lineups, get to the right places, get the right time slots, not the first time slot, when everybody's still rocking up, whatever. But to me personally, where it sort of gave me a new perspective was if you recorded an EP in 2019 or 2018, okay, cool. You got that EP, you got it on iTunes, you got it on Spotify, on YouTube, all of the platforms, but you didn't really think about the process of it's sort of an investment. If you look at the streams you get in the first 4 years that you're an artist, if you're not signed, it's not going to be something to brag about. But if you look at the long-term sort of idea of it, it made me a bit more conscious of you got to create to supply to get that demand of people. You can only buy a CD once, but you can stream something 1,000 times in a row. It still counts. So yeah, we had difficulties with shows, even seeing each other because there was distance involved. But I think we all grew a bit more conscious of we got to record, we got to release, we got to have a release plan. We need to set like a date. We need to set a campaign. We want to get the listens. We want to get the posts. We want to get the likes so that you can build on that basis in the long term. And now at the moment, shows is a bonus. If you got one, cool. But most of the time for now, it's just an acoustic show for 50 people and you get X amount of money. It's just a joy to play, but it's not that sort of initial rush that we had before COVID. But like Yanni said, we're all good friends and we used to live together in a hostel. Being ripped apart was probably the biggest influence. But the nice thing is there was always a silver lining because we either had a new release that we planned and we even had new music that we've written. And I mean, Ines has done immense effort to drive through from Nelspruit to Pretoria, visit me. We sit for 8 hours, we write a new song, and then we get Rudolph and Jan Hendrik involved. And then the following day, Ines drives back to Nelspruit. We go back to wherever we are. And we had progress, but mostly, like Rudolph said, it just killed the vibe. Everything was building and then it dropped. But yeah, you got to deal with the problem at hand. So I think all's good so far.
The majority of the stuff that you guys actually write about, to someone who's listening who may have not heard any of you guys' content, what is the general, what do you guys generally write about? What is generally the topic? Obviously, you did mention there, bro, that, when the song Rolling was influenced by something that was very deep, and is that general consensus with all the other stuff as well? Or is it sort of just various things that sort of influence what you guys write about?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I think we all obviously have our relationships and our history with people and as friends as well. So most of the stuff that we write about are personal experiences. Obviously, you can't tell a story if you haven't seen it or, lived the story or whatever. But the general idea is just to, in that moment, write about what you feel and not necessarily write out of a marketable sort of standpoint from, I'm going to try and apply the lyrics to being self-destructive. Let's party, let's do this, let's do that. And I do it that hard, so I'm kind of cool, whatever. I don't think the intentions were ever like, okay, we're aiming for this. That's why we're writing this lyrics. I think it was just in the spur of the moment, either me or Ines, we usually come together and then either we create an idea on the spot or he has a set of lyrics or a few guitar chords that he plays in his way. He would give me the chords and I'll try them, or I would give him a set of lyrics and he would try and sing the lyrics to the sort of tune I had. Or there were instances where we even wrote songs in a break during a practice session where probably the song on Spotify that does the best was actually just Rudolph and Yanni playing along on this idea during a break in our practice session. And the song it was written in like 15 minutes. Due to the spontaneous side of the songs, I don't think we apply to one thing, but definitely a topic is obviously relationships, lovers, girls, crushes, heartbreak, all of that stuff. And then there's a few songs that have a different story to tell, like Find Barry, our newest release. It's a song about a friend of ours that got lost in Amanus, and his name is Barent Leonard. And his family name was Barry. So me and Rudolph had this idea, let's like immortalize the guy and write a song about him. And Ines and Yanni just did their thing. They added the icing to the cake. Everything went well. So in terms of what you're asking, I think at the end of the day, it's created in the moment. So what we decide in the moment goes. But generally, it's either, you know, relationships or life experiences.
Yeah, I think it's generic experience-based songs. Like everything we've written thus far, we've experienced, you know, firsthand. So it's a really generic process.
Mm. Mm. And I think, you know, the advantage of what you guys are doing is that considering that it's stuff that you or things that you guys have gone through, it's things that people can actually relate to as well when listening to your music. So props to you guys for that one there. And I obviously can't just go past this without even bringing up what Dolph actually said there when he was talking about, you know, you guys coming together and writing new content and writing new music and stuff, you know. So for the people who, you know, have been following your guys' journey and all that there, you know, what is next in terms of the music? What are you guys working on? Is it just a single? Is it an EP? You know, you obviously did mention there that you recently dropped Find Barry. But what is there after that, bro? What are you guys working on right now in terms of music?
Yanni,
Dude, so the content is coming, I'm going to be honest. New songs have been written and whatever. It's just now a matter of when funds are going to start coming in again so we can make it feasible to record this stuff and whatever. But I mean, in December, I went to Mozambique for 3 weeks and I wrote a fucking gem of a song. So when we get back in studio, that's definitely going to get recorded. And it's just a matter of when and where with the whole
I think
COVID
I think the
situation.
whole thing, each of us is on their own journey at this moment due to COVID,
Yeah.
working all day and doing everything. But the strange thing is, all of us play a little bit of guitar and writing on their own. So I think as soon as we get back together, there's a lot of stuff that we can put together. So I think maybe if there might be 4, 5, 6 songs maybe coming up, I think it might be possible actually.
Mm, mm. So what when
Yeah.
you with Yanni, bro, when you mention 5, 6 songs there, are you guys basically sort of hinting that we might get something within 2021, or is this maybe, you know,
Well,
definitely.
in a way, I feel we can actually fucking work towards it. I mean, I don't think. I think it was always you can't stand still on just a few songs and just releasing an EP. I mean, yeah, it might be an EP, it might be an album, but I don't think it's going to be an album right now at this moment. But there's definitely new content on the way. So yeah, that's definitely
but
something to look forward to. Yeah.
yeah,
I
that's
think the one thing we didn't mention is there's already a set of 3 songs that are completely finished in the writing process, and we've even played them live as well,
ooh,
which you're
nice.
going to add to the arsenal as well. But
Mm,
as we're speaking now, there, like Ines said, there's new stuff coming along the way. It's just a matter of time we get more gigs and get funds to go and record that to make it feasible. Because sort of out of the viewpoint that we don't necessarily invest from ourselves, we generate the money to do the stuff that we want to do.
mm,
But yeah, I think an album, it's a big deal to write an album. I think it's not something you should just do to get it done, you know, like just to say that I got an album. So I think at the point in time where we'll write an album is where we get to spend a lot of time together to sort of get a story together to tell whoever's listening about what we want to say, instead of just writing 4 songs that are all they're all good songs, but in their own way, but they fit like sort of in a category, so you can place them in an EP. That's always cool. But out of the marketing perspective, singles are better because you can just create a music video as well and release it with a music video, or you can use a single to release before you release an EP to promote the EP or whatever.
mm.
But I think if you're going to do an album, we want to do it perfect. So I think it's along the lines, maybe 2021 is the year. Let's hope so. You got to think forward. So we're holding our thumbs down for that as well, if that answers your question.
Yeah, 100%, man. It does. And you guys have played so many fucking gigs. It's actually incredible. I mean, and you've also played alongside some of the like most awesome bands. Like I was seeing in the EPK there, you guys have played alongside. I don't want to say open for because I believe that you guys are on you just as good as the other bands, and therefore we should really just say you guys played alongside those bands. And obviously you got Black Cat Bones on there, which you've had on the show as well. I see We Are Charlie, which is a fucking good band. Easy Freak, sheesh, Zebra. Tell me which show you guys enjoyed the most of all the bands that you've played with. Which one would you say you went there and you had the best time playing alongside that particular band?
First of all, thank you for all the compliments. You're chaffing us here. I'll totally give you my number after this set.
Ooh,
You can give me
dude,
a
and I
call.
can I
We'll
can
go
send you
drink a
some
beer.
nudes. I can send you some
Definitely, yeah, definitely. That's like I don't even have to say it. But anyway, to answer your question, yes, man, it's such a privilege because I mean, if you just go out there and get to know people, and you actually get to know the other guys that plays in the band, and you sort of understand how each individual is on his own, and what their end goal is with why are they doing this. I mean, what show do they want to put on? What lyrics do they want to convey? Like, how entertaining do they want to be? Do they want people to sit and look at them? Do they want people to sit and listen to them? um to give an idea, like Zebra is like, yes, man. I mean, what a party band. They're so
Mm,
good in what they do. All of them are lacquer oaks. They're well known in the area. They're like really, everybody knows the band members of Zebra. And we sort of like, that's how we know them because we chilled at Antlas, and Antlas is like their home ground. And we built a relationship before we even played a show. I mean, and then it's lacquer because there's never a sense of, you've got to compete with these guys. It's what they bring to the table with a vibe to the show.
mm,
And also the experience you can get out of it. We were very privileged to play with Black Hat Bones at Stroom Sessions. It's like a sort of like box office. You buy pay-per-view. You buy a show, and then you get to view the show.
mm,
And we were mixed with Black Hat Bones, so we had to play with them on one of their songs, and they had to play us on one of our songs. And that was like really like, obviously at a bass and guitar point of view, we idolized the Oaks because I mean they were born and bred in South Africa. We actually went to a couple of their live shows. All of a sudden we could play with them.
mm.
And just like the sort of experience with the composure of Older Oak, he's done this fucking lots of times. And he has his ways, he has his tricks, and he can teach you so much of what he's doing. And you're actually pitching, plugging in, and like, at least I can play with these Oaks.
Mm.
So it sort of depends on who, but generally I feel there's a huge new wave coming of like different vibes and different scenes to what's actually known on the market right now. If you look at like band music.
Yeah, it's I like what you said there about, the likes of Black Cat Bones, you guys looking up to those guys and eventually, playing with them and playing shows with them. Yeah, it's all about the people that you look up to becoming your peers and all that. And with that being a lesson, I'd say that that is more of a lesson more than anything else. What other lessons has Zen Garden taught you guys since its inception? Each of you can
Dude,
answer
I'm
that.
gonna
We can start with Yanni, bro.
okay, dude. So I'm just gonna say this straight. If you ever play art club, don't get fucked too early in the day, and like don't get high too early because when you go to the bathroom to take a piss, you will shit in your pants, and there will be nothing that you can do about it. So definitely self-preservation. I mean, after the show, go bonkers, but pace yourself. That's the
Why?
biggest lesson I've learned.
I feel like this is too specific, dude. What happened?
I'll tell the story, man. We were playing art club, and we went up, did our show, and the show went really, really well. It was chilled and whatever. And afterwards, I went to the bathroom, and I was like busy taking a pee. I didn't even want to fart, and I shat my pants, dude. And I had to like walk through the grounds to get the rest of the Oaks, and they were like, "Dude, are you okay?" They were busy loading up this stuff, and I was like, "Dude, we need to go home right now." I remember I was the driver as well. It was horrible, dude. It was
Dude.
maybe the worst experience I've had in my life, but I got through it. But I lost a good set of undies.
Oh my goodness, dude. I feel like I mean it's one of those where the level of intrigue is as high as the level of not wanting to go into it further But I mean, how did this
Yeah.
happen, bro? Like, was it like a case of diarrhea? Was it like,
I think so. But
dude?
just for a second, because I mean, I was definitely not in control of my stomach at that moment, but I don't know what triggered it because I didn't really eat anything funny. It must have been the booze and then maybe the mixture of Mary
Yeah,
Jane just
but you also got to
had an effect.
remember, like just put it in perspective. If you walk into Art Club, first of all, you drive into Potchefstroom, which is like one of the most Afrikaans universities that you can get in South Africa, and you go in there, and Art Club is up and running, and it's like huge. There's a massive amount of people there. Like people are buying food, people are on the beer tent. Like it's you're sort of almost intimidated to go in and play there.
Mm.
And all of us are Afrikaans oaks. And when we walked in, we heard the tannie say, "Ooh, kyk, hier kom die Engelse mense." And we were like, "Fuck, man!" Like we're standing out so badly. And
Yes.
the girl that was playing before us was like, I think she's like sort of in the vibe of Rihanna now. I'm not disrespecting the genre or what they're doing. I'm just saying like it was that scene. And we came up and we were like already a few beers down, and we were standing backstage and we're like, let's just focus. And we played hacky sack for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
We did a sound check, and the guy that was the MC was like, you can see he's like just a local guy living in Potch. I mean, he's not like somebody that Art Club actually got out to do a professional MC sort of vibe. Like he stood there with a piece of paper and said, "Ja, en hier is die volgende band, hulle kom van Pretoria af." And then he walked up. So it was quite, to go and do your stuff there. It was like, yes, man, it almost didn't fit the vibe. But as soon as we started, it was just epic. And I think what happened with Ines was it's that huge relief of we got off that stage and we're like, yes, we actually pulled it off. And we got a few beers and he was like, boop, shat his pants.
Holy shit. Yes, I think the moral of the story is indeed, if you're gonna go to Enclop and play
Don't go to Art Club.
there, or
You
if
will
you
shit in your
do, shit
pants.
beforehand or something, and then it'll take care of
Dude,
that.
I remember when we
Yeah.
walked off stage, Jan Hendrik was busy smoking while he played drums. And there was no ashtray. So he flicked the cigarettes on the ground. And the stage manager came on and he was like, "Jy moet daai fucking stompies optel." And we were all like, is this guy fucking with us or is he like honest now? And he was totally, totally honest. He was like, "Tell it all."
Yes, that's fucking incredible, bro. Jan, bro, what has the band sort of taught you, man, since it started, before we run out of time?
What has the band told me? Well, I think sure it's interesting. Well, having a pair of twins, they let's put it in Afrikaans. Hulle hou daarvan om mekaar kak te hap en jy weet ek en Ines is altyd so awkward. Dan staan ons op daar en ons is like, okay, well, it's gonna fly by, you just gotta keep on doing what you do. But yeah, I don't know, just keep on doing what you're doing, produce beats. I mean, we've started to become a big family actually, and when you go upstage, everyone knows what they need to do. I think everyone's focused and they say we're gonna give a fucking massive show now. And afterwards, yeah, let's get drunk. And I think the biggest thing of getting drunk afterwards is just stay together, because when you get lost, that's a fuck up. Yeah, and it's fun. I love it. No, there's nothing that I can learn from these guys. It's just being with them is bringing the brighter side out of myself. I love playing with them.
Oh, that is so beautiful. It's like you guys are like an honest family. It's really beautiful the way that you guys put it. Yeah. And I think I don't really understand Afrikaans, but I'm going to try attempt to decipher what you just said. I think that segment that you said in Afrikaans was something like, being in a band with twins, you got to pull up with a lot of shit, and something about Ines and being awkward.
That is totally true. Yeah, well, brothers fight, but you can't say anything about it because it's brothers,
Yeah.
So
it's not
it's
like that, man.
interesting thing to.
Because we're unit.
Yeah.
The actual fact is, Yanni is quite intimidated, and we actually pull up his socks for him because the other saying is die pap val op die grond, maar hy tel dit net nie op nie.
Fuck off,
Dude,
man.
if his dick wasn't attached to his body, he would lose it. I promise.
Yeah. Listen, man, just to get Yanni to a rehearsal is like one of the biggest missions ever. When we did a live recording, we were practicing at one studio, but we did the live recording like in a totally different space. So one place was in Erasmus Kloof and the other place was in Silverton. And we're like, bro, we're going to record at Silverton. And he called us and he's like, yeah, I'm at the place. Where are you? So I don't see anybody's cars. I'm at the gate. Fucking nobody's opening. And I'm like, no, listen, where are you? And he's like, no, I'm there at this place in Erasmus Kloof. And he was at the whole different venue. And we're like, yeah, Yanni, like we posted the location on the group. We like really tried.
You see, the thing about a drummer is just to keep a beat, you know, that you don't have to worry about the other shit. It's going to be
Yeah.
done for you, you know.
I second that one, dude. I stand with you on that one, bro. As a fellow drummer myself, I'm 100% with you on that one, bro. Listen, guys, we almost out of time, so I think this would be the perfect time before, you know, we plug all your social media handles. Are there any parting words that you guys want to give to all your followers and people who have been supporting you so far, real quick?
To the people that's been coming to our shows and listening to our music, huge thanks. We appreciate you for appreciating us. And to Sludge Underground, I think it's so cool. You know, being an avid podcast listener on Spotify, I quite enjoyed that there's a local scene going as well. So thank you
thanks,
so
bro.
much for your time, putting your Saturday evening aside to talk to a bunch of guys like us. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. And to the fans and the people that might be listening that want to go and check us out, we're on Instagram, we're on YouTube, we're on all this platforms, Spotify. We got good stuff coming, and we promise you we'll never disappoint.
Oh, that is beautiful, dude. And thank you so much for the kind words coming our way. Really appreciate that, bro. And, you know, I appreciate you guys and just want to thank you guys as well for coming onto the show and setting your Saturday aside. I feel like this was time well spent, man, learning about you guys and what you guys do. I'm super stoked. So you mentioned handles there, bro. Where can people follow you guys and check out all your stuff?
It's quite complicated to actually get us on the place because, you know, we didn't thought the name through being Zen Garden. So if you search us on Instagram, you have to search at Zen_and_now with 3 W's to actually get our Instagram page. But it's quite lit. I mean, it's woke it's in 2021, so things are happening there. And on Twitter, we do have a Twitter page, but we actually just read a bunch of racist comments or a bunch of political thoughts or what's the update on Eskom. And on Facebook, you know, like my mom follows us. She shares all of our stuff. She likes, she comments. You can go follow us on Facebook at Zen Garden, and you can go and follow my mom because she's like one of the most intricate followers on our Facebook page. And yeah, man, check us out at shows. Like I promise you, when things are starting to jump up again, we're gonna be there. We're so psyched, and yeah, it's been a long time, so we're excited. Thank you so much.
Oh, that is so dope, guys. Obviously, to anyone who's listening to this episode, they're probably tuning in on SoundCloud or Apple Podcasts or Spotify. On all platforms, we are Sludge Underground Podcast. And if you want to check us out on social media, on Instagram, it's at Sludge Underground. On Twitter, at Sludge031. And Facebook, at Sludge Underground. We're going to be closing out with the Zen Garden song. Guys, what's your favorite Zen Garden song of your guys's or of your choice?
Sure. I would say maybe Alone. I don't know if the rest is Alone or Home. I think those two. I don't know who's. Yeah, Home.
Home.
I'd also say Home, dude. That's my fucking jam.
Yeah. Okay. Now I think it's important for people to actually enjoy their own music as well, which is fucking dope. So
Absolutely.
yeah, we're gonna be playing out with Home by Zen Garden. And to everyone who's been listening to this, thank you so much for tuning in. And yeah, guys, do check out as well. Remember to check out Apollo TV. We're gonna leave links everywhere, and we're gonna leave links to Zen Gardens, everything Zen Garden on the bio of this episode. So do check it out. And yeah, guys, until next time, it's bye for now. Dudes, thank you so much for that. We have about 2 minutes remaining. So that was a fucking dope episode. Thank you for doing this with me.
Yeah, thanks
man.
Really appreciate it.
Yeah, that was
No, a
fucking
lot
cool.
of respect, really. Thank you for all the questions. I mean, you ask such nice things. Like we did a previous podcast where people just like ask what's your favorite color for your toothbrush. So
Oh shit.
thank you for being so clued up with everything and the professionalism with the Zoom. I mean, I know it's
man.
missions, but thanks, man. We appreciate it.
Dude, thank you so much, man. That means a lot. That means a lot to me, dude.
When I call you, I'm probably drunk. It's just that I miss you, but I'm trying to move on. I hate that I really had to love you, 'cause now it's so much harder for me to move on. We'll message back and forth, we'll try to both stay strong, but only time can heal the things that broke us down. The thought that I lost you gives me insomnia. Just know that I loved you even though I still messed up. So when I dream the night, I see you next to me. When I see photos of you, I wonder how we both move on. 'Cause I'm not over you, and you still miss me too. So come and go with me, 'cause it's where you belong. So when I call you, I'm probably drunk. I'm trying to leave this, but it keeps crawling in my head. The things that we shared, the love that we made. Sometimes I just think that we never should have met. Our circumstances just never were right. Baby, I know, because your father and I had that fight. They always blew me off, thought I wasn't good enough, but I would have given my life